Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is Arisya Binti Ramzi. Today I'll be presenting my module 1, which is Training Needs Identification and Planning Framework. This module is designed as a 2 to 3 weeks continuous cycle to help HR and Head of Department or HOD to identify, prioritize and plan relevant employee training. The main purpose is to make sure that training is relevant, effective and aligned with organizational goals rather than simply providing training without clearly identify the employee's actual needs. The framework provides HR and HOD with a structured and data-informed process for training needs identification and planning. It focuses on strengthening employee capabilities and supporting organizational goals. The framework is linked to our four main concepts, which is Training Needs Assessment or TNA, the Kirkpatrick Evaluation Model, Human Resource Planning, and the Competency-Based Approach. Together, these concepts support the identification of competency gaps, planning of suitable training, and evaluation of training effectiveness. To support the framework, we also introduce a training needs identification and planning dashboard. The dashboard provides HR and HOD with a centralized view of important training information. For example, it can be displayed the number of employees assessed, priority competency gaps, planned training, approved budget, and training completion rate. It is also includes a workflow pipeline showing the progress from identified, validated, approved, scheduled, and complete. And in addition, the dashboard allows HR and HOD to view skill gap according to the department and competency, so this can be support more informed and transparent training decision. The first step is align and prepare. At this stage, HR and HOD align training with the organization business objective and strategy. They identify important roles, competencies, and priorities while also defining the responsibility of HR and HODs. This creates a clear foundation before identifying specific training. The second step is to gather and analyze information. HR and HOD review available performance data and KPIs, also analyze employee competency gaps. Input is also collected from HOD and employees, while previous training outcomes are reviewed. This is to ensure that training decisions are supported by relevant information. The third step is identify and prioritize training needs. At this stage, the required skills are compared with employees' current skill. The organization can then identify gaps in knowledge, skill, and behavior. These needs are prioritized according to their impact, urgency, and available resources. The first step is plan training solution. Based on the identified needs, HR and HOD establish training objective using the SMART approach. They then select appropriate training method and providers. The training plan also considered the budget, timeline, resources, and participant required. The fifth step is to approve and communicate the training plan. The purpose plan is reviewed and approved before being communicated to the relevant stakeholder. HR, HOD, and also employees can confirm participation and understand their respective responsibility. This step encourages better communication and coordination between HR and HODs. Finally, the sixth step is to implement, evaluate, and review. The training is delivered and feedback is collected. Its impact on employee performance is then measured. Based on the evaluation, the training plan can be reviewed and updated. The findings are then carried into the next cycle, making the framework as a continuous improvement process. To support the six-step process, 4 key tools and documents are included. First, the TNA checklist and gap analysis help identify competency gap and training priorities. Second, the training plan template help HR and HOD organize training objective, method, budget, and timelines. Third, the training tracker or TMS records the training needs, attendance, progress, and evaluation result. Finally, the evaluation form collects feedback and help measure training effectiveness. This tool is to provide practical guidance so that HR and HOD can follow a more consistent training planning process. The framework also incorporates a cloud-based training management system with AI insights. The system can centralize training records and provide dashboard for HR and HODs. AI analytics can help identify potential skill gap and recommend relevant training. It can also provide real-time reports while allowing authorized users to securely access training information from different locations. Therefore, technology supports better data sharing, communication and decision-making between HR and HOD. Overall, this framework is expected to produce more accurate and consistent identification of training needs, a prioritized training plan aligned with business goals, and more relevant and cost-effective training integration. The main responsibility party are the HR department, HOD, and also employees, with the process operating as a 2 to 3 weeks continuous cycle. In conclusion, this framework provides a structured approach to ensure that training decisions are based on actual employee needs, competency gaps, and organizational priorities. Most importantly, it shifts the focus from simply completing training requirements towards making training more relevant, measurable, and effective. That's all from me. Thank you.